We are moving markets. It is a Monday afternoon here in Camden, New Jersey, live from Studio S. It is, of course, Market Movers. And we got to touch Bryce Harper because our Philadelphia Phillies, that's right, I'm saying our Philadelphia Phillies, in the National League Championship Series for the first time since 2009. Let's hop into the order book and get you caught up on what we will be doing today. We are on one today because Anita Marks is here. It is a Marks Monday, and she has been nothing short of a marksman moving through the sport trade markets. We've also got the Market Mover Sweepstakes, which we will update you on. And a huge, huge day here at Sport Trade because a new era has dawned. Futures are now available in the Sport Trade app. And then we're going to talk about the price is tight, as we always do here on Mondays. And I got to tell you, the price is wrong this week, Anita. We're going to get into that. But first and foremost, how are you? You're fired up today. I love it.
I am fired up.
I love it.
We're going to get into our Sunday recap.
Yep.
I know we're starting off with futures because it's a really exciting time here at Sport Trade because of the futures. I've already laid some future bets down this morning, so I'm excited to dive into them. But just stay tuned for my Sunday recap. You don't want to miss
goodness. it. I can't wait. You prefaced it, and I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Finally, before we get into futures, we're going to remind you of the Market Mover Sweepstakes here on the program. We're giving away $100 into your Sport Trade account or future Sport Trade accounts every single Friday on the show. But you can enter now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, up until Friday, and it's very easy to do so. Just follow Sport Trade app on Twitter and quote tweet the live Market Mover show with hashtag #TradeUpNewJersey. We had our first winner last week, and I'm told they're already trading. Let's start trading ourselves. Futures now available in the Sport Trade app, and we're going to make some of these trades live here on the air. So let me pull up our phone look here, Anita. Now you can see it for the first time. You finally figured that out. Anita's been flying blind for the first month of the program, but now she can actually see the show. So we're very happy about that. But we'll start, Anita, with our, I'm pulling you into the tent here. Our Philadelphia Eagles, another big win last night over the Dallas Cowboys. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the recap, but we want to start with futures. The Eagles, currently in the Sport Trade app, let me pull it up here, to win the Super Bowl, the second priciest team so far at $13. You can see it on your screen here. The Buffalo Bills at $24.5, the Kansas City Chiefs at $11, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at $7 somehow. The Philadelphia Eagles at $13. What say you about their chances here to earn you some money in the futures market?
Yeah, I love this Eagles team. I was on this Eagles team even before the season started. Granted, you got to look at a team on paper, and then they have to perform, and that's exactly what this Eagles team has done. And I was watching the game last night with a huge Eagles fan, and we were having a discussion. You know, people don't realize one of the most important things for a team to have in order for them to win a championship is depth.
Yeah.
And the Eagles have it everywhere. Defensive line, linebacker, secondary. When was the last time the Eagles had a secondary like this? I mean, last night was unbelievable.
Lito Shepard, Sheldon Brown, Brian Dawkins. I mean, you're talking about 2005 era, this good of a secondary.
It's been a hot second.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. So defensively, fantastic. Offensively, again, offensive line. The third quarter was I think an outlier because Lane Johnson went out. Micah Parsons pretty much took over the third quarter last night, but the Eagles responded. They were able to, to change some things up and be able to counter and run away from Micah Parsons and get Hurts away from Micah Parsons, where they were able to solidify the win. So I think they're one of the best coached teams in the NFL, even though I feel like all their coaches look like they're 25 years old on the sideline, but nonetheless, one of the best coached teams in the NFL. They've got a lot of depth. They've got a ton of talent, and I've probably buried the lead here. I'm actually a huge Gardner Minshew fan, and if there's one thing that you need as well, is a solid backup quarterback that, God forbid anything happens to Hurts, the dude could come in and win some football games like we're seeing Cooper Rush do for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, granted, he didn't win last night, but that was his first loss, and they're going to get Dak back after their bye week. So I think the Eagles check all the boxes here. I put a wager down today.
Okay.
You could wager that they're going to go undefeated at 12-1.
Ooh, that seems short. 12-1.
You can also bet that they're going to go undefeated and win the Super Bowl at 25-1. So I laid both of those today. I'm all in on this Eagles team, like I was at the start of the season. But on paper is one thing. You've got to see them perform, and sure enough, we have.
Sport Trade commenting, thanks for the folks I work with, loading up on Eagles contracts, and we have. If you take a look in our futures, I went ahead and purchased some for Anita. We have 49 contracts of the Eagles to win the Super Bowl with a possible return of $4,300. And since I made that trade for us, Anita, at $10, Eagles now buying at $13. So we're up $122.50 on that trade. They mentioned it in the broadcast last night, which was a great point. In the moment, they put Micah Parsons in conflict. They didn't block him. They made him read the mesh, and then he had himself a night. Okay, we'll move on from NFL. Let's go to the NBA, if we can, Anita. We'll take a look at the NBA markets, which are led, of course, by the Golden State Warriors, the defending champions, $13.50. The Clippers, who have not played a regular season game or a playoff game with their actual starting five in like a century, $13. The Milwaukee Bucks at 12.5. The Brooklyn Nets at 11. I'll believe it when I see it. The Boston Celtics at 10.5, and the Philadelphia 76ers at $8. Now, I don't want to toot my own shofar here, but this is a very Philadelphia-centric program right now. But I'm going to go ahead, and I'm actually going to take the $8 for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think they have so much going for them. Last year, their foils were very obvious. They had very little athleticism on the wing. They had very little help in that second unit, and they, for the fifth year in a row, didn't have a backup center for Joel Embiid. They bring in Montrezl Harrell. They trade for D'Anthony Melton. Tyrese Maxey is leveling up. James Harden maybe will be in shape this year, if not in the early going, hopefully for April. And then they bring in PJ Tucker for a little toughness, a little nastiness. I think the East is very jumbled. I don't trust the Nets. I don't know how anybody could possibly trust the Nets right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to place a trade on the Sixers. What say you?
Yeah, lockstep. I'm with you. I like the 76ers a lot. I have them coming out of the East and representing the East in the NBA championship. Listen, they won over 51 games last season. I do believe they win the Atlantic this year. Embiid, I put money down that he's going to win the MVP. Harden, gives up some money for the 76ers to
but he got
roster.
he's like probably the CFO of Fanatics now, right? So it kind of all worked out.
It all worked out, but my point is he's invested.
Yeah.
So if he's invested, then I want to believe that he's going to come in shape. He's very close with the front office. I think he leads the league in assists this season. I put money down on that. Maxey, I'm expecting him to take a step up. You talk about PJ, he's going to solidify. Listen, top 10 on both sides, offense and defense on both sides of the court. I love the 76ers team. The Nets, still some big question marks, all the drama in the offseason. I want to get traded. Ben Simmons, is he going to play? So I'm staying away from the Nets. Don't know what to make up there. The Boston Celtics, they're not going to have their head coach because of all of that went on. I don't want to, it's for a different show.
Yeah.
The Golden State Warriors, to me, the Golden State Warriors and the Clippers are going to eliminate one or the other. And so, I think the biggest opponent is going to be the Bucks for the 76ers. So I'm with you. So yeah, I like the 76ers at $8.
How many do you want?
Ooh.
Here's the beautiful thing about futures on Sport Trade, right? It's $8 a contract.
Give me 10. Why
10.
not?
Okay, so $10.
I'll throw $80. I'll throw $80.
$80 for Anita for the Philadelphia 76ers to win the Larry O'Brien. Now, here's the best thing about trading futures on Sport Trade, right? We're going to put this trade through right now. So that's 10 contracts at $8, $80 total. That is a trade, Anita, that can return you, let's see, potentially $900.60, $901.60 right now. What's great about that is if
it's a nice pair of shoes.
One. Now, the best thing about that is if the Sixers go out and win the Atlantic and are the one seed in the East, but they get a matchup in the playoffs that you don't really love. The Sixers are going to be trading much higher than $8. So you can go ahead and trade out of that for whatever they'll be trading at. Let's just call it 20, 25. And now you will have gone from $8 to, we'll say, $20, which means a $12 difference. That's $120 made. You can just trade out of that, and regardless of what happens, you've got that $120. That's what we're talking about here on Sport Trade. All right, we'll move.
Really quick, I think good play, and I don't have a lot of analysis here. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that I'll tell you, in talking to a number of people in and around the NBA, don't sleep on Cleveland.
Oh no, they're going to be good.
I don't know what Cleveland is trading at, but I don't expect Cleveland to win the championship. But same philosophy is what you're just saying. Buy Cleveland now as the season progresses, see where they advance, see how high they go. There's a lot of people inside the NBA that are expecting this team to make it to the postseason and make a good run. Maybe at that point in time you sell them. But in talking to a number of people who I respect in the NBA, everybody is really excited to see what Cleveland's going to do.
Big moves getting Donovan Mitchell. They are at $3 per contract. Similarly, the Minnesota Timberwolves, who traded a decade's worth of draft picks for Rudy Gobert, also trading at $3. Quickly, Anita, we'll go to the NHL. I like the Maple Leafs. I think last year they had one of the best seasons of anybody, but disappointed in the postseason. I think very similar to the Buffalo Bills this year, a bit of a revenge tour. And a Canadian team has not won a cup since, I think, 92 or something like that. I like the Maple Leafs, and they were trading at just $9.50. What say you?
Give me the Rangers.
Sure,
man.
why not?
I'm in New York, come on.
Why not?
At $5.50. Listen, they won 52 games last season. They scored more than 100 points this season. Last season, I do believe that they do it again this season. They made the Eastern Conference Finals last year with such a young team, right? So there's value there in been there, done that, got the free T-shirt. Didn't win the Stanley Cup, right? But has that experience, knows what it takes, and let's be honest, I think we can be in agreement here that they've got the best goaltender in the NHL in Shesterkin. So give me the Rangers and them trading at $5.50.
Yeah,
I like that right there.
So she likes that one. We'll transition quickly to the World Series, where we'll be predicting the future here with only so many teams remaining.
Look at that. I love your graphics. You're so cute.
I actually made that one. Shout out to me for making that one. I usually don't make them. But the design department a little busy this week. So here are our futures. And with regards to Major League Baseball, Anita, for whatever reasons, on the cheating Astros. I, of course, am a loyal man.
If
and
you
I'm
ain't
all
cheating,
over.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, Dan.
A lot of trash cans around that house, I'm sure. The Phillies at $7 are my picks. So here are our futures selections here. Anita on the Eagles at 13, the Rangers at 5.5, the Astros at 37. We'll talk about the MLB markets real quick. And then we're both on the Sixers at 8. I like the Leafs at 9.5, and I was just a little earlier on the Eagles at 10 because I work here. So the 2022 World Series, we'll show that market real quick. The Astros at 37, the Padres at 21.5, the Phillies at 20.5. Obviously, Game 5 in the Bronx tonight. The Yankees at 15 and the Guardians at 7. Quickly, your play tonight for Game 5.
My play tonight for Game 5 is the Yankees.
Yeah.
I do like them. I'm buying them on the run line at 41.50. I'm also going to buy them at -4.5 at $15.50.
Wow.
Tyone, I like the pitching matchup better than Savelli. I do. He's the last. Okay, I'm trying to figure this out. The last time he faced the Guardians, 7 hits, 1 run in 5 innings. Savelli, twice he faced the Yankees this season. He gave up 12 hits and 10 earned runs. We're finally seeing Aaron Judge get a little bit more comfortable. Of course, he had a really cold start to the postseason. Rizzo is batting .286 in the postseason. And I think Cleveland really lost their opportunity to seal this deal last night. And I think the fact that they're going to come home in the Bronx, people are going to be all crazy. Yankee fans are going to be out there. I like the Yankees tonight, again, on the run line. And also I'm going to play them -4.5. I feel that this has an opportunity to be like a 10-4 game or something like that.
Wow. Okay. I'm just placing your futures trades. That way we'll be able to track them throughout the various seasons. Make sure I've got them all in here. Of course, we're taking a look at our live trading portfolio. We do have them all in here. Okay, great. One more quick reminder about the sweepstakes promo before I moved on to football. Just retweet the show, quote tweet the show, live market mover show with hashtag TradeUpNJ, and of course follow us on Twitter. All right, let's get to the reason why everybody's here. Our reactions from NFL Sunday before we get into Monday Night Football, rather. You did really well, as you always have, Anita. Only 2 losses here, which is Bucks -15.5. I think everybody had the Bucks -8, which I did as well, which didn't pan out. And then the Niners straight up against this Atlanta team. This Atlanta team has been unbelievable. We'll talk a little bit about their price, opening price a little bit in the show. But that Tampa Bay game, something's going on in Tampa Bay. And I have to think it has a little something to do with number 12.
Yeah. So, and let me preface by saying, full disclosure, I did pick the Bucks for my survivor pool,
Oh,
which
oh,
if I would have won, there was 910 people to begin.
oh.
There's only 45 left heading into week 7 of the NFL season. So
Mm.
needless to say, not only am I upset because I lost money on Sport Trade, but I'm also upset at Tom Brady because I don't. Here's the thing, Dan. I don't know what I'm more upset about. I was hosting my pre-game radio show on 98.7 ESPN here in New York on Sunday morning. And I had said to Matthias Kiwanuka, who was my co-host, and I said, I'm picking the Bucks as my survivor. And Matthias says, ooh. And I said, what? I said, are you kidding? They're taking on a Pittsburgh Steelers team with no TJ Watt, no Minka Fitzpatrick, and 3 of their starting corners are out. And oh, by the way, a rookie quarterback. What do you oh, well, Tom Brady left Tampa on Friday to go to Robert Kraft's wedding in New York City, missed the walkthrough on Saturday, and then took his own private jet from New York to Pittsburgh, didn't even fly with the team. And so now I'm really doing a deep dive. I'm taking you behind the curtain. So now Mike Tannenbaum joins us on the show. He's with us for the last hour here on 98.7 ESPN. Mm-hmm. So I asked, and Mike's calling the game, the Bucs Steelers game. And I said, Mike, I said, I've got to ask you, should I not pick the Bucs as my survivor? And he said, oh, come on. It's Tom Brady, Anita, against no Minka. Like, they're out all their starting corners. Minka's out. It's a rookie quarterback. You're safe. And sure enough, I was not. And you know what? Shame on me for not following my gut, and shame on Tom Brady. You call yourself the GOAT and you leave Tampa on Friday to go to a freaking wedding? Now, listen, we all have personal problems. If this is, and we know, like, wide reports about his, separation and possible, divorce, that's a different story. But you leave and you don't travel with your team for a wedding? I can't, and we call this guy the GOAT. I can't even wrap my head around that. And again, like I said, I don't know who I'm more upset with. I'm just equally as upset with me, Dan, that I didn't withdraw. And this is what's so good about Sport Trade. You're not like, I should have withdrawn my bets, and I should have chosen a different team for my survivor pool. I'm so hot about this. I'm so hot. And I don't know how he's not getting more crap today on the national airwaves. I've been prepping for the show, prepping for my other shows. I don't know how he's not getting more crap with this decision and what he did. It's so Bush League. Wow. I can't even wrap my head around it.
Updated GOAT rankings, according to Anita Marks.
Well, he was never my number one, to be quite frank. I'll put him in my top 3.
Okay.
I truly believe.
Well, who's your GOAT? He was never number one?
I believe, I'm up there with Joe Montana, Johnny Unitas. Maybe I'm a little biased with Dan Marino. He never won a Super Bowl, but I know we live in this day and age where you've got to win a championship in order to be considered.
Eli Manning.
But I covered Dan Marino. You put Dan Marino on the Patriots in the years that Tom Brady played for the Patriots. He would have won more games. He would have won more championships.
Wow.
I think Tom Brady has benefited from playing in an organization that is top-notch in regard to front office, head coaching, as well as playing in a division where the other 3 teams, with all due respect, have just sucked for a decade. The Dolphins, the Jets, and the Buffalo Bills just absolutely sucked. And so he's been able to go to the playoffs each and every year. They've won their division and once you get into the playoffs, and the record he had, not only did they get to the playoffs, but they were able to host playoff games. Don't get me started. We'll be here forever. My take. I'm just more importantly, I'm so disappointed, and I'm disappointed and angry at myself that I didn't make the move and withdraw my plays on Sports Trade and withdraw my pick as the Bucs to win the survivor pool. I'm upset with myself.
I wish I had more hair so you could see how it's flying back after that. I need to check my eyebrows.
My take. That's my hot take.
Make sure. I feel like my eyebrows were singed after all that. Okay, so Tom Brady, you're down the Anita Marks power rankings for GOATs. That's tough business for you, my friend. We'll see if the Bucks can rebound. They're going to make an appearance in The Price is Tight, but we are going to quickly here preview Monday Night Football. The game this evening, Broncos at Chargers. Broncos trading at $34. Anita.
What?
It's my turn now.
What happened?
Why are we being subjected to this team again? The Broncos have scored 16, 16, 11, 23 in a loss and 9 points, and yet we have to watch this team again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so over this team. I'm over Nathaniel Hackett. Look, I covered the NFL for about 10 years. I have always been out on Russell Wilson. I think he's one of the fakest people in the entire league. I think he's always been that way. I don't think there's anything he says that has an ounce of credibility or honesty to it. And frankly, I'm kind of happy that people are now seeing that now that he's in Denver. I can't watch this team anymore. I may not even watch this game. I'm not going to trade it. I'll tell you that right now. I just can't watch them anymore. Chargers at 66.5, Broncos at 34. 4.5 is the spread. Broncos trading at $52 to cover. The Chargers at 49. The over-under at 45.5. I'm not quite sure why. Broncos can't score points. 51 to the over and $50 to the under. If I were to trade this, Nita, I would say go under, but as I previously stated, I don't want to be within 1,500 miles of anything that Russell Wilson is up to. So that's a lead.
I hear you. It's Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take a Soul Cycle class, and then I'm going to go to a local watering hole here in Hoboken, and I'm going to watch the game with my Sport Trade app. And so this is how I'm going to play it. I'm playing under 38.5 points. I'm getting that at $28. I'm also going under 45.5. So I do believe that there are not going to be a lot of points that are scored here. Denver's only averaging 16 points a game, as you alluded to. Their defense, by the way, has only allowed 5 touchdowns in 5 games.
Really good.
So games that they are playing in are only averaging 31 points a game. Denver is 8th in pressure rate and 4th in sack rate. So as great as Justin Herbert is, he's not fantastic when he's getting pressured. And I do believe he's going to get pressured tonight. I also do like the Chargers to win. So I'm going to play Chargers minus 4.5. I'm also going to go Chargers minus 11.5. And you could get that at 29.10. And I'm going to wait and see how high they go, see where that $29, $30, how high that goes. And more than likely will probably sell at some point in time in the 3rd or 4th quarter.
Here's a comment that has nothing to do with Monday Night Football because points are not going to be scored. But if you were to be trading on a game where a lot of points are scored, we'll say yesterday's Bills game and Chiefs game, or even better, the Alabama-Tennessee game, right? Here's something that you could do conceivably in a high-scoring game. You could just jump back and forth on both teams, which is exactly what I was able to do as a trader in both of those contests. The Tennessee game was 52-49. You could go back and forth and incrementally make $10, $15 on every possession. That's not going to happen tonight. In fact, I think the Chargers are going to run away with this one. But again, just another option you could do on Sport Trade. Bit of a diatribe. On my part.
I mean, really quick, the Kansas City Bills game, that's what I did. I had, I just want to make sure I'm factual here.
Yeah.
So I had Kansas City plus 9.5. Okay. And I got that at 72 something. And I was able to sell it around $85. So I sold it, and then I turned around and I picked the Bills to straight up win at $50.
There you go.
So yeah. So, I'm with you. We're Dan, we've got to spend a Sunday together, man.
I know. We'll be up. We have partnered with Big Blue United, who's awesome, big tailgate presence over at MetLife. We've actually partnered with them, so we are going to be going up there in November for, I think, Giants Jags. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Giants Jags.
Giants Jags or Giants Eagles?
Giants.
November 11th, Giants Eagles. Hey, why would you go to that?
Nothing would please me more than to wear midnight green and walk into the Lions Den in the world's largest air conditioner up at MetLife. But we're going to make that happen. We're absolutely going to make that happen. Okay, it is time, of course, for The Price is Tight. Now, Anita and I actually somehow tied the other day. I don't really know how that happened, considering we built this to not have that happen. But we're going to run through it right now. Of course, the conceit of this game is we are guessing prices on Sport Trade to win, aka the money line on Sport Trade. We are guessing the favorite and then what that favorite will be priced at, and whoever is closest gets a point. Person with the most point wins the game. This is a really, to me, a really fascinating price is tight this week, Anita, because there are so many dogs that we love on this card. And when you look at the pricing on Sport Trade, it just seems ripe for the picking. Teams that keep winning, keep being priced as deep underdogs, continue to pull out victories. So we're going to go through a couple of them now. We will start with Atlanta and Cincinnati, and I'll start. I had guessed that this would be Cincinnati, despite the fact that Atlanta just steamrolled San Francisco outright yesterday. I just think people love this Cincinnati team. I think they're hanging on to last year, so I don't agree with it, but I said Cincinnati 67.
I went Cincinnati 65, and I think a big reason is because they just came off of a win against the Saints. But so I'm Cincinnati 65, but with that being said, I'm going to buy a lot of Atlanta here.
Likewise. The actual market is Cincy 71.5.
Oh boy.
So I get that point.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, higher than I would have imagined. Giants Lions. Thank you, Amy. Is the game that we will be going to. Giants and Lions later this year. Okay, next game, Jets at Denver. Again, we just talked about how we never want to see this Denver Broncos team ever play another down of football ever again, and yet here they are in our faces. Go ahead, Anita.
I still don't think that people are sold on the Jets, even though they went up to Lambeau Field and beat the Green Bay Packers and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So I do believe Denver is going to be favored here, especially since they're at home. So I'm going to go Denver 58.
All right, you boxed me out of this one. Denver, I said, was 55. You will not believe this. Denver is 66.
Really?
So the New York Jets are trading at just $43.50 this week. I mean, their average opening price is $35. So the Jets continue to make a lot of people money. 3 straight weeks the Jets have opened up as underdogs and have won, and also 4 out of 5. Next game, Tampa Bay, your favorite team and favorite quarterback, traveling to Carolina against the Panthers. I said this was Tampa Bay 77.
Oh, I'm just one above you. I'm at 78.
Don't I know it?
And a big reason, 2 reasons. Number one, we don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be for Carolina, right? Because PJ Walker left the game early last week. And also there's reports out there that they're trying to trade Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So they might not have Christian McCaffrey on that roster. And he was a big reason why they were able to compete and contend against the Rams yesterday. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay 78. You and I are like right there.
This is the classic Price is Right thing where I go $1 and you look around and you go, $2, Bob. And then you look at me and you go, hope you nailed it. Hope you nailed that price. And I didn't. You did. Tampa Bay 82. So
Whoa.
Anita up 2-1.
Not as surprising as Cincinnati, not as surprising as Denver, again, because Carolina has so many question marks.
Well, get ready to have your socks knocked off. The Giants going to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, who have lost 2 straight games, including one to the Colts just yesterday. I don't remember who went first last time. I think I did. So go ahead, Anita.
Yeah, I love this Giants team, but again, I think Jacksonville at home, and I think folks are still not sold, just like they're not sold on the Jets. They're not sold on the Giants. So I'm going to go Jacksonville $55.
I said Jacksonville $54. And yet again, I have been boxed out by Anita. Jags 61.
Whoa!
So the Giants opening up this week at only $39.50, despite the fact they're 5-1. They just beat the Ravens last week, who we said on the show last week, Anita, probably going to beat the Ravens. They were $35 last week. They won. The week before that, they were $24.50. They won. So Brian Daboll instilling a lot of confidence in that group. So we're going to the last one here. You've already won the week, but this is an interesting one. We have Pittsburgh and Miami. The Steelers coming off that win against Tampa Bay, going to Miami, who Will they have Tua Tagovailoa? We're not really sure. Will they have Teddy Bridgewater, who came in yesterday, and despite the fact they didn't start, threw for 300-plus yards and a couple scores? I'll go first here. I said Miami would be 65. What say you?
I'm going Miami 71 for a few reasons. Number one, I'm hearing that they are going to get Tua back, which should spark that offense. And also keep in mind the Steelers, Kenny Pickett left the game.
Yeah.
The NFL now really, really cautious with the whole concussion situation. So will Kenny Pickett start? Will Mitchell Trubisky start? Regardless. And as we talked about just a second ago, when I was ripping Tom Brady for him losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers, all the defensive players that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be without, and then now having to travel. So I'm going to go Miami, $71.
Miami, 74.5. It is a rout on the Price is Tight. Anita takes 4 of the 5, now leads the series 2-1-1, and frankly, wasn't even that close. We're going to have it in the Mitchell Report's going to have to look into the authenticity of some of these guesses. You're so spot on after just a couple of guesses, or a couple of weeks rather. We're going to have to look into this.
We talked about it. I'm starting to get more, like I use the app all the time.
Yep.
I'm starting to get more and more familiar in how this works, how it operates. So I think that has a lot to do with it. I will say this though, again, just to recap, I love Atlanta. I love the Jets, and I love the Giants. You and I talked about it. I'm going to be playing a lot of dogs this week, especially on Sport Trade.
So I'll tell you, Anita, I already have multiple contract positions on all 3. When I was putting the markets together this morning, when I was tweeting out the markets, I tweet out the markets on Sport Trade every Monday. I saw them and I said, I'm not even going to bother waiting. I'm going to try to get some COV here, and jumped on them right away. Before we head out, Anita, any last thoughts?
Just for tonight, again, I probably my favorite play is the Chargers under. And again, I'm going to play them under 38.5, and you could get that at $28 per share. And also, I'm all over the Yankees tonight. I do like them at home with Tyone. I think he's the better pitcher. Last time he went up against the Guardians, 7 hits, 1 run, 5 innings, where Savale was just absolutely miserable. Twice he went up against the Yankees, 12 hits, 10 earned runs. And I do believe that we've seen Aaron Judge turn the corner in the postseason. So those are my 2 plays tonight. Good luck, everybody.
2 blowouts, compliments of Anita Marks. Don't forget, you can win $100 every week here on the show. Just follow Sport Trade app on Twitter and quote tweet the live Market Movers program with hashtag TradeUpNJ. I'll do it for us on a Monday. We're back tomorrow with internet darling Clive Bigsby talking NBA futures and all things hoops as the Sixers season and Celtics season tips off tomorrow, and the rest of the NBA will follow. That's it for a Monday. See you tomorrow.